By now, I'm sure you have heard some of these taglines: the fourth industrial revolution, the great reset, and the great narrative. And of course, you will own nothing and be happy. And I'm sure you've seen the face of this guy being praised as a visionary who will guide our world into a prosperous future. But what does that really mean? And what is the World Economic Forum's plan for the world in 2030? Will it be a world of increased inclusion, equity, and freedom for all? Or, as many people fear, will it be exactly the opposite? I'm not here to answer that question, but what I would like to do is propose a hypothetical future scenario. A scenario that the WEF is promoting and the type of world we could be living in by 2030. A world where your property, your identity, your money could be owned and controlled by your government. At the end of the video, I do want you to make up your own mind whether you think the WEF is a force for good on the planet, or if we should be having some concerns and if we should be asking some questions. So let's get into it, shall we? But before we do have an amazing newsletter that people rave about, 60,000 people and counting. So if you want to join fellow freedom seekers, there is a link in the bio. To make my case today, I am going to be speaking about what I believe could be the three main pillars that surround the World Economic Forum's agenda for 2030, and discussing some of the things that they are promoting around the now famous event called the Great Reset. Before I start though, I just want you to keep two things in mind. Number one, the World Economic Forum and the leader, Klaus Schwab, haven't been elected by anyone. Yet despite this fact, they are trying to influence politics all around the world in order to transform the planet that we live on. Secondly, all of the resources that I'm sharing in this video are coming from verifiable sources, many of which are directly from the WEF's website. If you want to confirm any of the information, there is more info in the description. So let us discuss the three hypothetical pillars and how it might affect our lives. Pillar 1, surveillance. The first pillar in the 2030 agenda is the possibility of total surveillance of every single one of us. And the way the WEF could achieve this is by us requiring a new form of identification. The World Economic Forum suggests that every single person on the planet will receive a new form of digital ID, which they say would help promote a world of inclusion where everyone has more access to basic services. But they also suggest this ID could be linked to absolutely everything in your life. It could be required to book plane and train tickets and track where it is you're going. This digital ID would be needed to access social media, the internet, bank accounts, and even a requirement in order to spend your money. And without your ID, it's possible you may not be able to buy anything at all. And who would control your digital ID and the data it contains? Well, of course, your government would. In short, absolutely every action you take in your modern life could be tracked by this new type of personal ID. What your online habits are, where you go, what you buy online, what you say online, and so much more. And if you think this kind of a system is a little bit worrying, well, you're not the only one that thinks this way. Just recently, Kenya's High Court ruled a digital ID system to be illegal in the country because they fear it could be abused by the government in order to violate a person's basic right to privacy. But the WEF doesn't agree. They think it's going to do more good than harm. But anyway, where would you be carrying this new form of ID? Well, according to the WEF, you could be carrying it inside your body. In his book, The Fourth Industrial Revolution, Schwab talks heavily about how RFID chips could be used to track goods and packages around the world, enabling our economy to become significantly more efficient. But in referencing the same technology, he also said this: in the near future, similar monitoring systems will also be applied to the movement and tracking of people. He also says that the fourth industrial revolution will lead to a fusion of our physical, our digital, and our biological identities. Echoing this on the website, the WEF discusses a future where electronic implants could become a relatively normal part of human life. Lastly, I want to mention something I've spoken about on this channel before, which is in regards to the WEF's potential forecast for a future of surveillance, which comes from an article published on Forbes, which is written by a WEF contributor. The article is titled, "Welcome to 2030. I own nothing, have no privacy, and life has never been better." And the line I want to highlight is as follows: "Once in a while, I get annoyed about the fact that I have no real privacy, nowhere I can go and not be registered. I know somewhere everything I do, think, and dream of is recorded. I just hope that nobody will use it against me. To be clear, this article was written by Ida Auken, who is a Danish politician and also a member of the WEF, writing as a contributor for the World Economic Forum. So this is pillar number 1, surveillance. And later on, I'm going to be talking about how the world of surveillance ties in with pillar 3. But for now, let's talk about the second pillar, which is finance. Pillar 2, finance. The next pillar of the Great Reset agenda could be around finance, and more specifically, putting more control of money and assets in the hands of the government. So you know the line, you will own nothing and you will be happy? Well, this is the pillar where this could be playing out. In multiple articles on their own website and elsewhere, the WEF predicts a world where people will no longer own most of the things they use in life. Instead, through a sharing economy, items like clothing and cooking equipment will be owned by your government and delivered to you when you need them. But according to a WEF member, sometimes you won't even need to decide what you need, because an algorithm that knows your tastes better than you do could make these choices for you instead. And your home? Well, soon that could be owned by the government as well, but you won't have to pay rent because someone else will be using your space when you're not there. In short, everything that you own now could soon hypothetically be owned by your government. But the most important tool, asset that you have, which we use every single day to exchange value, which is money, seems that the WEF might have a plan for that as well. The WEF talks heavily about how cash in the modern world is risky and how it should be replaced by digital money. And even though statistics show that many countries around the world would prefer to use cash over electronic forms of money, the WEF believes these people just don't know what's good for them. Instead, they believe we should all be switching over to electronic payment systems as it's the way of the future. So, what could replace a world where we no longer have any kind of physical money? Well, the next step would be to develop a secure digital currency that everybody can use. It's kind of like crypto, except the future digital currency proposed wouldn't be decentralized. It would be completely controlled by your government. And this is called the Central Bank Digital Currency, or CBDC. A CBDC would be fully trackable, traceable, and a secure form of currency that, like Bitcoin, lives on a blockchain. But it would be also fully centralized. It would be money controlled by those in power instead of being in the hands of the people. With a CBDC, your money would no longer be held in a bank account either. Instead, proposals suggest cutting out what they call the middleman, with your government becoming the bank that directly holds your money for you. Nations like United States, Brazil, China, Canada, Germany, Austria, and Australia are already at certain stages of research or developing a CBDC, meaning we may be only a couple of years away from this becoming a reality. But potentially, most worrying of all, a CBDC would also be fully programmable, meaning your government could place whatever rules they wanted on your money, potentially allowing you to only spend your money on the items that they deem appropriate, or even worse, cutting off your access to your money altogether. In short, it would become the perfect tool in order to track and control your money, the very thing that we need in order to survive in today's world. If you want to learn more, I've recently made a video about CBDCs. Feel free to watch that one after you watch this one. Now, let's move on to pillar 3. But before I do, I want to talk about today's sponsor, which still has a very heavy focus on decentralized money that is firmly in the hands of the people. A part of my diversification strategy for growing my wealth is to invest in crypto, and recently I've started using FTX as my preferred way of doing so. One of my biggest peeves with buying crypto is the massive fees that many exchanges charge, sometimes up to 5%, but this is not the case with FTX. Via the FTX app, you can buy and sell crypto and NFTs with absolutely no fees. Even better, by using the FTX app, you'll also earn free crypto on every trade you make over $10. I love that I can also set up recurring investments. So I get to choose how much money I'd like to invest, and then the app will automatically buy the crypto for me at predetermined intervals I choose. So whether every day, every month, every week. They also have a crypto debit card and a trading platform for more advanced traders. Over 6 million people trust FTX to buy, sell, and hold crypto, and it is for customers of the US as well as people from around the world. If you'd like to get started today creating a crypto portfolio with FTX, there is a link below this video. Pillar 3, scoring. Finally, the last part of the WEF's hypothetical plan for 2030 is scoring, basically ranking human beings against each other based on almost every single action that they take, and this is called the social credit system. Simply put, it is judging how good or bad of a citizen you are based on almost every single thing that you do in your day-to-day life, rewarding people who are doing things that the government likes and punishing people that do the opposite. Sounds depressing? Well, there is already one place on Earth that has implemented this system.
China.
Today, China has already the world's most restrictive social credit system. It's a system where citizens are ranked based on almost everything they do in day-to-day life, from how long they play video games to how well they drive, what their shopping habits are, and whether they buy too many luxury items, and especially what they say online as well as who they associate with. If a person's score gets too low, they can lose access to things in life that many of us would argue are human rights. Things like a passport, bank loans, or access to putting their children in a good school. And if your score gets low enough, there are even reports the governments can come and take your dog away. Only a few years ago, China was already banning upwards of 20 million people a year from buying a plane or train ticket because their social credit score was too low. And guess who is a big fan of China's system and the country's current leader? You guessed it, this guy. Klaus Schwab recently gave China's president a glowing introduction at World Economic Forum event and praised Xi's leadership as well as his nation's economic achievements. Don't like the idea of a credit score? Well, unfortunately, they soon could be coming to a country near you. The first social credit system in Europe is set to begin rolling out in Italy later this year. And the Australian city of Darwin has also proposed one as well. A social credit system like this would neatly slot in with the surveillance pillar, and it would make the scoring of every individual very easy, because if we all have digital IDs, we could easily be scored on our every action. Now, I personally believe that the very idea of a social credit system is disgusting. Pinning humans against each other and ranking them based on their behavior? No, thank you. But whether you feel as strongly about this issue as I do or not, there is one thing that really can't be argued with, that a system like this would eventually mean that the government would control the people and how they live. It would mean that people would have to act the way that the government would want them to act. And those that don't toe the line, they would lose their rights and privileges. Financial privileges, economic privileges, and basic human freedoms. To me, this sounds like the perfect way of controlling a population and removing everybody's individual free will. But hey, maybe that's just me. I'd love to know your thoughts. The conclusion.
That whole time I was just muted. So we're going to try this one more time. Welcome. This is your boy Christian Israel, and you are tuned into Christ in Crypto. We have a wonderful show. I'm not going to go through everything. If you are here right now and jumping in, you know what it is. Okay, so let's talk about what shows we have on tap. Try this one more time. The shows that we have on tap today, we're going to talk about Elon Musk securing 7.1 billion in new financing for Twitter. We're also going to talk about Binance aiding Elon Musk with $500 million in that aspect of it. And we're also going to talk about Gucci accepting crypto payments here in the US. And if we have enough time, we're going to close this section out discussing insider statements on how the governments are actually trying to ban Bitcoin. So now that I have my audio working and we are rocking and rolling on this wonderful Thursday morning where the Lord just opened up the sky and turned on the shower for 5 seconds really hard over my house, and now it's dry. Weird weather here in Dallas, but we're here for you every single morning. So if you haven't hit that like button yet, please go ahead. If you haven't hit the notification bell yet, please go ahead so you can be notified when we go live and when we upload the later episodes. Make sure you follow along on the social media. And without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and go into long sum, short sum. All right, guys, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is your boy Christian Israel, and you are tuned into the first section of the Christ in Crypto in the Morning show called Long Sum, Short Sum. This is the section of the show where we look at the markets from a technical analysis perspective using Elliott wave, Fibonacci swing trading, and other different types of indicators to try to give us that edge in which direction is going. So today we're going to look at the overall market because we have had some good things happen over the last week. We have been waiting and waiting and waiting. A great blast off yesterday as expected, caught some longs, made some money, and now we're in that pullback as expected, and we're going to see what to look for. So right now in the last 24 hours, as I said, our last hour, we've had that pullback, and Bitcoin is at $39,034. Ethereum's at $28.96, and the number 3 spot is BNB at 401.03, and the number 4 spot is XRP at 62.80. And the number 5 spot is Solana at 90.06. And the number 6 spot is Terra Luna at 84.05. And the number 7 spot is Cardano, also known as ADA, at 84.55. And that is some cents. And the number 8 spot is Dogecoin at 13.3 cents. And the number 9 spot is Polkadot at $15.71. And to round out the top 10 of utility tokens, we are at $64.12, which is Avalanche, also known as AVAX. So that is where we are right now, rocking and rolling. And let's go through some of the charts because if you guys were here in the last 48 hours, you have had some chance to make some money. Called it, not just here, but also in the stock market. So in the stock market, this is what we have been looking at, guys. This is our NASDAQ over here on the daily, and this is our Dow Jones over here. We had a nice blast up. We're saying this is where we have to go. So we bounced out of those zones that you can see on both sides here. We had to bounce out of those zones, and we did. So now obviously we got to pull back probably to test these zones because these need to hold. So I would not be surprised if we held these levels for the next couple days. So just wanted to give you a shout out and show you that. Same with Bitcoin. Bitcoin also came down to its where it had to come down, which is on the overall move is a 2.236 right here. So this is our high, our low on our Fibonacci. You guys know that we're working our way back to the retrace area, and I'll just drag this right on down. This is where we're working our way back to. Sometime in this time frame, that will be the top, the top of the bear market retrace for Bitcoin. I believe right there at 54. Right under $55,000. That's why this is called the march back towards 55K. Because at 54K, I believe this is going to roll over. We might get a little wick, touch 55. And then, guys, this is going to go from there to down here. That will be another rejection. And this might look like this. Doop, 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 zoop, doop. Again, hard reject, and on down we go. That is what we might be looking at. Okay? I'm not kidding. And when I say down we go, I say $12,000. And so I am calling that less than a year, probably a little less than a year ahead of time. So we'll see how that works. But Bitcoin held its level. The next target we are looking for is to see if it breaks 42.6. Pretty simple. That is what we are looking for. And you can see this is an upward channel that we had on Bitcoin, working its way up, that we followed. Seeing that takes us up to the same 702 of 54.2 here in this area. You can see it highlighted, looking for some type of top in this area. Okay, so Bitcoin is ranging. You can see us ranging. And then we come on down and we broke down out of that channel and created another downward channel. Again, this is the daily. So this was about a week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 2 weeks that started this downward channel. And then yesterday we busted out with some great movement. I don't think yep, a little bit of volume here. Not as much sell volume as we had here, but just a little bit of volume. Not completely sold on the breakout yet, because as you can see right now, it is pulling back. So we got to be very careful about that. Now, I want to look at... Yeah, oh, man, look, you got the XRP point right there. So we're still waiting on that as well. I don't think we're going to dive into the XRP right now, because we're really focused on some other things. And one of those being Twitter. I sent this out on our Telegram... what do you say? Our trading cronies, right? Our trading cronies group. I sent this out on Twitter and just a little bit of, how do you say? A little entry when I started hearing the news. And we'll go over the news later, but the news basically is Elon Musk is forwarding to make that purchase on Twitter right now. So we went ahead and set along in there to come and combat this and see if we can get some up movement. We got on the weekly, RSI is moving up. So we'll see. Set a little long for that to be in a good place, because that's really what we want. As you can see here, possible cup and handle. And I really don't know. That's not a lot, but this is just April. Kind of came down in our parabola on Twitter. And this is the news when he started offering to sell. And we've kind of had this correction. But it looks like we're getting, after that pullback, we're taking a chance here. And I'm going to be honest. We're taking a chance because we have a high and a low. High, low. And this is where we're taking our chance. We're taking our chance that this level, the 4.414, is going to hold. That's what we're taking our chance on, okay? So if this holds, and you can see that massive jump right there from our entry point to the opening, which puts us funny right back in the parabola, like right back in it naturally. And this was drawn, it broke out, it was drawn a couple days ago as we were looking for an entry. I was looking for a possible entry down here. It didn't make it, but we entered here at the 4.4, and it's now up. So we're going to watch that over the next couple days and see if we can take advantage, because if this breaks and stays above 51.62, we can track our way up to see where that's going, heading back towards $90 for the end of this cycle. So I'm not sure what craziness is going to happen there, but we will see. So let's go ahead and look at a couple others. ARK is one that we are paying attention to. ARK looks like it also sold off this morning, which I am not surprised, because ARK does what? It follows Bitcoin. It had a nice pump up yesterday, and I'm going to look here and see if I went. Yeah, I think I got an ARK long here somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. Got an ARK long here somewhere. There it is. Yep. So we got in. We're a little down right now, mainly because this thing is going in the opposite direction as we speak. There we go. So I'm gonna make sure looking at where this is going. A little pullback here. Nothing wrong there. But we're down just a little bit. Our entry, guys, just in case you're curious, was 49.50. Okay, so 49.50. It broke back down. So we're seeing just a little bit of a back test. And we're going to see if that continues, because the 0.5 is what needs to hold. If this decides to break, I'm gonna delete that real quick so I can see. If this decides to break below this 0.5 right here, I'm gonna drag that over wherever that goes so you guys can see. There we go. So much movement. ARC Fund breaks below that, it will break lower, but here's what we've looked at. The overall of this is the area that we want to be in. So we're down in here. We're hoping this holds, and we'll see. Our stop loss is at 38, which is way down here. So this will be one that we hold through the Bitcoin move. So I wanted you guys to see that. Now, another one. Let's look at AVAX real quick, because AVAX is what we've also been watching, which is Avalanche. And Jasper, as expected, called this, yesterday, that this might break out yesterday. And it actually ended up doing a full 4.414 all the way there. Okay. And coming back down to back test this breakout. So we're looking for a re-entry here. If we're really happy, if we really can get it, maybe back test this 702 here and come all the way back to 6175-ish. You know, so we're going to be watching this area because that definitely broke up. I would not be surprised if this area holds, but maybe a little bounce to 65, come back down to 77 or 62. So we're going to watch AVAX, but it did kind of what we are expecting it. The issue is here, though, when you have this come down, a lot of people were calling for a breakdown to here and continue its direction coming down here. Okay. That's what a lot of people saw, down to 45. And that's what will happen if we don't hold and come back and back test 61.5 and it holds. So that is something we are looking for in AVAX. I know we got some quick movements across the board. I'm just going down the ticker right now. Curve is something we really took advantage of yesterday. Okay. And this is just an update on these, and I will continue to go out and about. But now Curve has... We made a little bit of money on Curve. We shorted it twice yesterday just for a couple 1% gains. If you're margin trading, we made more than 1% gains. We figured the fill target is 247. It did come down to 254. We entered it up here twice at 262. So two different times at this level at 266 and 262, coming on down. So I just got a notification that according to an article, 33% of Brits have now purchased or own cryptocurrency. Congratulations on that. So, making sure we got some sound there. So we're watching Curve to continue. It did explode. I am looking specifically, guys, for a 5x move over the next 14 days. So I'm going to dive in and look specifically for that after the weekend maybe, and that will be my Monday morning or Tuesday discussion. The one asset that I believe is we're gonna walk through that trade together. Okay, whether it be a short or a long, we're gonna walk through that trade together. So here's Curve continuing its move down. Let me see here. Yep, there is Curve continuing its move down. So we will see where that goes. It looks like 260 is in the buckets there. So we'll see. Let's see. What else do we have here? Today is just a quick overview of all the tokens that we have really discussed. Someone had me look at Flux. Nope, no one had me look at Flux. I think I saw this on the Lunar social media, looking for possibly a back test on Flux at 147. If that's something you guys are interested in. Flux is on a couple things, but seeing this kind of work its way out, you see it break down there, and now it's working its way back. So I would not be surprised to finish at 147 just to see. I'm going to get rid of that parabola because we don't need that. Litecoin is another one. Look at that. Look what Litecoin just did. Litecoin just fell off a map. Wow. Did everything else? Am I looking? Oh, did everything fall like that just now and I'm missing it? We're going to have to go and look at some other tokens because this just went kaboof. Yeah, like an hour ago. This is not what this chart looked like an hour ago, but that just saved. That saved me from a possible long. And we're going to go ahead and go high, low, high just to see what, just see what's going on. High and a low to get a better count. 1 point up, straight to the 2.414. We might get a full pullback. Looking for $99. We get into the $99, even though this is 2.414, might hold at 103. If 103 doesn't hold, we'll be looking at $99 on down. Let's look at sand. Sand just did it too. Did Bitcoin really just do that too? Yeah, everything just kind of... I'm glad I got rid of my longs this morning. I'm really glad I closed out my longs, get out of profit. And then I was, like I said, I was shorting curve, but I closed curve down last night before I went to bed because I don't want trades open when I sleep anymore, period. That's one thing I have learned is I do not care. Unless that trade is up like 4,000% or something stupid, right? Which is rare. I don't think I've ever had a trade that's gone up that much. But if I do and when I do, which would be awesome, like a margin trade, that's something I keep open overnight. But now when these markets are so volatile, I'm not longing and keeping it open overnight just because there's no point. That's the whole point of Elliott wave trading, right? The whole point of us using Fibonacci is to be able to swing these. Now, I don't do that with my holds, okay? I say this. I buy XRP, I hold XRP. I have HRR, I hold. And all my DLT stuff, we hold. I don't swing trade those things because it's risky. It's really, really risky, okay? So that's where I am there. Let me give you guys, I know I've been doing this. Let me see if I can give you guys a big screen just to give you a little more room here to see me. There we go. Wonderful. All right, now, so let's look at, let me go ETH, and then I see MNW, which I think is also on this chart. So I'll go take a look at it. Let's see here. Yeah, got a little bounce right there. Just maybe a little morning sell-off, right? We're gonna check this because this is where we want to hold. So let's look at MNW, right? Yeah, which is the Morpheus network, M3 or Web3 web stuff. And normally I would look at this and go, oh, well, look at that. That looks like like this wants to do this right off the jump. That looks like this wants to break out. However, it's so far down this falling wedge there, Ilya. So far down this that normally when it does this kind of thing, like this is notes for, right? And how do I show you that? I will show you that right now because it just blew my mind. And I'm looking at, was it here that I saw it at? I'm going to show you. We just saw that. Yeah. There it is. Like we just saw that same thing. Here's your falling wedge. Okay. And what it did here is come into it. Right? So that's the same thing. I'm not saying it's going to go all the way down there, right? But I'm just saying that that's where it happened to fall to. What's going on here? You're not deleting? Delete that. Thank you. So we're going to watch that. I'd be careful. I'd be really careful because this is down 8% of the last 24 hours. And we just had a pump yesterday. So we really, really want to see. Let's see. Maybe just a pullback to scare. Yeah, look at that. Quick liquidation, pullback, come back down. I am looking for long entries on this little fake out. We do see XRP breaking below, and I think that's something we should look at before I get out of here because don't you guys come here for XRP? I mean, that's pretty much why you come here. I think a lot of people do. I do. I come here to look at XRP every single day. And this is what we're seeing. So it did not quite finish. But you know what's crazy? This is what I said could happen. And I got to remember what chart. I streamed yesterday for another service. I could do an hour and a half for people who buy, people who purchase alerts, right? And I told you guys that I started doing that for somebody else. I'm like, man, why am I doing that for somebody else? Let me do that for my people. And that's why we're starting our alerts group. So if you're interested in getting there and kind of getting alerts and calls for the crypto market, especially as we go into the bull run, you'll be able to come here, see the TA, what I'm doing, and then in the Telegram group, and then maybe like on Sunday nights or something, we'll get going once we settle where we can do just a stream just for paid members. I know people are telling me get the Discord running. The Discord is up and running. However, I do not have time to run it myself or moderators to help me run it yet. So we're working that out, and as we move, we'll get there. But this is what I expected in XRP, was to come up here, fake out, come down, 61, fire back up. That is what I'm expecting XRP to do. That is what I am expecting XRP to do, and the rest of the market, to be honest, because it's kind of how volatile it really is. And I'm pretty sure, like, yeah, look at this on the 5-minute. Like, this is a real sell-off. This is deep. This is deep to kind of get some liquidity for all the goofies who locked themselves in and bought this candle. Now, I definitely bought a couple of these yesterday, but I also made money and got out up here, right? Closed it out because we don't want to be. So we'll be looking at getting that entry. It's giving that all back. It is giving it all back right now. And I'm just curious. Is Twitter at least going up for me? Because that is the one long I set out this morning. Okay, good. Man, because I'm like, come on, Twit. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. I'm trying to have a good morning. Netflix. Whoa. Netflix was something we longed yesterday too. And that thing just fired up and then opened and dumped hard this morning. So we're seeing what is going on specifically in these markets. I'm curious because look at that movement. Let's look at the NASDAQ one more time before we get out of here. Thought Netflix would have a bounce. Doesn't look like Netflix had a bounce. The IDOC came up. I had to go ahead and see what was going on. I had to put on Squat Box behind me real quick. But just to see what, boom. So we are hoping levels hold. Scary sell-off this morning if you just entered on the breakouts yesterday. And I'm going to tell you, I think I entered Netflix. I think I sent out one for Netflix. These are some of the ones that we were trying to catch those bottoms in. Let's see here. Going to look. Yep. So it is continuing to rock its way back down. I mean, all the way back down. 1-to-1 bounce breakdown. So we're going to see if this is going to continue across the board. Obviously, a lot of sell pressure. And we just need to watch because I'm looking across the board at these. Whew. And I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm going to look to see here if anyone else is getting in these. Let's see. Yep. Partial closing. Target. First target hit. 318. Stop loss on QQQ. Litecoin coming all the way back. It did bounce. We're gonna hold this out here. Bounce. S&P coming back for a 0.5 bounce. Okay. Not scary, just back testing. Not scary, guys. Just back testing. That's what I'm gonna set on. Look at that. Everything is just a man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think that's what I'm looking at. This is back test central right now. Everything. Look at that. I mean, look at that. Ugly RSI. All the way down, and we want to really go back and see what's happening on that daily. And it's just a small rejection there. Last but not least, we want to look at the total market cap. And then, guys, we will get out of here. Yeah, Bitcoin, look at that. Wick on up. See this? 38.5 on up. All right, total 2. I just need to see, guys, if we are above. Right, look, back test. That's what I thought. Back tested exactly $1 trillion. Okay, So don't be scared. The market cap outside of Bitcoin is just back tested. It fired up. That's all. Let's get a look on that. Fired up and is now officially back testing. I'll give you an arrow. 1 trillion. Right there. Okay? So that's what I am seeing in the market. Scratch my nose. So be very careful. Don't get nervous. It happens. Right? But look at that. Just a back test. Just a back test. What do you think? Is this just a back test? Is crypto falling apart? Was yesterday a fake pump? Or are we going to have a sell-off in the morning after that excitement to get some people into it? Now people will start short selling again, and then we pump these markets. So we're going to see. I'm going to watch this closely tonight, because as we long some of those things, yes, Twitter has held its own, but what hasn't held its own are some of these others. And that, for instance, this dump on Netflix, which is just disgusting ugly, right? But it did not come down to make a lower low. Okay? Did not come down to make a lower low yet. Yet. So we will see. What else? And I think that's where we're done for the day. Yep. I'm done there. We will see. I'll catch your boy tomorrow. No one likes these dumps. And in fact, these stuff just doesn't really make sense anymore. So be very careful all you are. And this is exactly why we don't swing trade our investment holdings. Because you don't know. Right? You don't know on the massive scale with liquidity, with the rest of the market. We had a great day to end the day yesterday. And then as soon as the markets open, red, dump, 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 fire sale. The question is the fire sale over? Or are they trying to completely kill market sentiment? You guys tell me. I'm your boy, Christian Israel, and you are tuned into the first section of Christ and Crypto in the Morning. This is long sum, short sum. Please do that social media thing. Thank you, guys. God bless, and I'll catch you later. Bye, guys. All right, so now that we've done it, I'm just question. Let's get curious. I'm just going to reload this. Look at that. Look at that. Massive moves down. Now, I am just going to look in here. What's going on, Bullish on XRP? How you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Let's go ahead and just reload some tweets here. I just want to see what's going on. Let's see here. I'm just looking real quick. Elizabeth Warren demands Fidelity answer questions about the risk of putting Bitcoin in retirement savings accounts. All right. So more attacks there. You got Leah talking about that. Yesterday, Bill Gates warned, missing Twitter worse. Okay, no, nothing too crazy. I don't see anything right off the bat. Let's see. Let's go to Market Watch. Okay, Prince Alawalid will now back Elon Musk's Twitter bid and retain stake after deal's completion. Okay. All right. So I guess that's just where we are right now. The NASDAQ is down 3.3%. It kind of gave everything back from yesterday. Whew. Let's dive down. I want to see that. That gave everything back from yesterday and more. So this is Monday. Boom. Tuesday. Up. Down. Wednesday. Wonderful. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. And now the issue is this is now 1, 2, 3. I think we see an ABC there, so we'll go over that and see. I really need to deep dive into these because this was not a direction that I expected this morning. I thought we would hold for the day. I didn't think we would long. I didn't think we would pump. I thought this would be a range day. So to see this kind of move today, that literally gives everything back. Let me look. So this was yesterday afternoon. Oops, delete. and then we'll go on to the news cycle. This is yesterday afternoon. Wonderful. Okay, now I expect it to kind of come to here, right? That's why I expected. Come back down and test. Instead, guys, we're down here looking like it wants to come back down to this level. Again, if it breaks this level, and we got to watch, if this breaks that level, oh, guys, we really, really, really have to watch if it breaks that level. Be careful. That's what I tell you. I tell you, be very careful if it breaks that level. Okay, so we are going to go ahead. I'm going to do this. My target price was 210. I'm typing something out, and then I will go ahead and move on to the next section. We are working, let's see here. Let's see here. All right. So gonna kind of get rid of some things here. Because Netflix just was ugly there, and I do not want to be in Netflix anymore. So I wanted to make sure we got out of that. I'm sure Amazon, I have to check Amazon. Did Amazon do? Oh my God. Look, Amazon went whoop way the other direction too. Do you see that? Amazon rolled over. Everything was a dead bounce. And I'm gonna go into my Amazon. This is not a fun. That was not a fun move there on the Amazon. So let's see here. I'm looking. And we're going to go. $24.65. And Amazon, as we speak, is dumping. I mean, that's ugly. The market is hard dumping right now. Hard go. Let's see. What else can we find here before I move into... I'm looking to go into... Here we go. Moving. Okay, so I had to adjust those. This is definitely, man, look at that. This is just an ugly sell-off this morning. And I had to just make some adjustments real quick because, I mean, I'm just going to be honest, not noticed. That's only 3%, but in reality, really need to see what's going on here long term because the back drop of this, see that? Looks like Amazon is back testing. It did break below, so maybe this flips here, but not happy about it. Not happy about it at all. Really not happy about tech stocks. Not something expected. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic and move into there. And we're going to talk about trying to get some bullish news here, but it's really hard to be bullish whatsoever when the equities market is dumping like the crypto market. That is something to concern me. So let's change gears and go ahead and hit the topic. What is going on, everybody? How are you doing today? This is your boy Christian Israel, and you are tuned in to Christ and Crypto in the Morning. This is a place where we talk about the market in threes. The first one is a technical analysis perspective, where we look at the market from Elliott waves, Fibonacci, and different technical perspectives. And then second, we look at the news cycle, what's going on in the news to see if that's a bullish or bearish signal for those technical indicators. And last but not least, we look at it from a Christian biblical perspective, the world from what the Lord says. And that's why this is called Christ in Crypto, because this whole show is centered around Christ. And today is May 5th, and we're talking news today. We're not going too much into specific assets today as we are talking about news. And my brow is sweating a little bit right now. I mean, I'm excited. I'm going to tell you, see, little sweat, because like me and sure like you, nobody wants to do this for the next 6 months. And here's how important this area of support is. And I am telling you right now, like I need to tell you right now. Let me go big screen. If this area does not hold, Bitcoin is going to go to $30,000. The NASDAQ is going to go to $10,000, 10,000 points, which means XRP is headed to 40 cents. Okay? So I need to say that. So as I'm here trying to give you positive bullish news, we are all looking short term. We all know what's long term, but man, we need to know, because the world right now is in peril financially. It is a joke financially. So what will we see and how will this work out? So tune in every day for TA, and I will be looking next week for a setup to 5x us in May. Why? Because I have a personal goal. So I'm going to bring you guys along with that goal, and we're going to follow it. But here's some goals. We want people to use crypto. We want crypto to have utility, right? So here's our utility. First article, Gucci to start accepting crypto payments in some U.S. stores. Now, if you guys don't know Gucci is, I don't own anything Gucci at all. But some people like Gucci. A lot of people do. A lot of famous folks do. People think it's as a high brand. Okay? But they're also exploring to be in the metaverse. Like they want to be in the metaverse. So they're starting to introduce cryptocurrency. So what's crazy is in New York, which they don't like crypto at all in New York, but that's a place they can use it. Los Angeles, Miami, Atlanta, and Las Vegas. They're going to test 10 currencies. They don't say what 10, but they say Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ether, Dogecoin, and Shiba Inu. Really? Like, tell me this right now. Look at those coins. That's the joke that we have right now. I'm going to tell you right now. If you own XLM, XRP, anything with distributed ledger technology, anything that actually moves money, you will know that this is all a joke. This is coming in to literally break people. I'm telling you right now. So just watch out. Don't get stuck on these things. Like, why is Shiba Inu being used at Gucci? For real. I'm not even going to go into it. I wish they would say what all 10 were. You going to tell us in this article here? Nope. You're just going to give us the stock price. Started maybe here. Nope. Okay. That will be it on that. I'm not going to go much more into that. But 10 cryptocurrencies, but they're only naming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what are the other 5? You know what? If someone here wants to look into that, throw it in the chat. Let me know. What's up, Lee? It's good to see you, boy. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, let's go on to the next story. Elon Musk secures $7.1 billion in new financing for Twitter. Who are some of those people? Binance. Binance is giving $500 million of that $7.1 billion, right? A little 2.5%, a little less than 2.5%, a little more, somewhere in there, of the overall stake. Why? Because I think we need to get Elon into crypto. right? Why wouldn't you get Elon into crypto? Here's a perfect example. This coin right here is being used. I don't even know. But and I can't say what I think. I can't say what I talk to my wife about when it comes to Elon. I'm not going to say that on this show. I'm not going to say what my believer, Holy Spirit tingling about who Elon Musk really is. And that's, I think, all I can say. That's all I can say. And maybe down the road, if this man decides to run for president or become a politician of some sort, I think then I will come out and say what I truly believe. But I need to let it play out first. But he is on his way to owning it. That is kind of why we longed Twitter this morning, to get a little bump on it. So far, that's the weekly. But so far here, even on the hourly, it fired up. So maybe we'll go ahead and get out of this because everything else rolled over. So maybe this is a little take, but we'll see. I need to see that first because everything else really, really was pretty scary. So he has gotten backing from, what does this say? Oh, they won't let me see who that is because I need to pay $500 a month to see who that investor is. That's interesting. Okay, so we might need to see what's going on there. And the filing on Thursday, including you got Binance, Brookfield Asset Management, Fidelity Management and Research, Qatar Holding. Musk also won the support of fellow entrepreneur Oracle, co-founder Larry Ellison, who's got a big stake in Tesla. See, these are the people who are realizing if Elon buys it, it's going to go up. It's a money deal. It's a money grab. Even though the Saudi prince originally, said no, now he wants his money. He's cool with that. So here are the new backers. Lawrence Trust, $1 billion. Wow. Sequoia Capital, $800 billion. Vi Capital, $700 billion. $700 million. Binance, $500 million. Whoever Lawrence is, they've stepped up with 1B. Binance is right there with the 5th largest holding. Qatar at 375. Aliyah Capital, 360. Fidelity, Brookfield, Strass, Bomco, DFJ, Witkoff, Key Wealth Advisors, Ammon Management, Treasure Boulevard, Honeycomb Asset Management. Threw a little $5 million in there. Anybody got $5 million to go support Elon? Throw it in there. So interesting, right? That's just a lot. All right, so I want to flip subjects. And I'm not going to go into much detail because I spent a lot of time in the TA section today. Mainly because I just don't like what I am seeing in the charts. Like, I really do not. It could be a hardcore back test all the way back to this 4.414, specifically at ARC. But we'll see, and I'll dive into that later. So this is an article, and maybe this will be the article that I actually do tomorrow, because I'm not sure I have time today. But it says, I'm going to say this quiet part out loud. A strategist at a $5 billion crypto company, Crypto Asset Management, breaks down how governments are trying to ban Bitcoin and why overlooking the issue could result in the entire crypto industry crumbling. Now, it's interesting that this article came out yesterday, and then this is what we have in the markets today. It says, at Crypto Bahamas conference, co-hosted by 30-year-old crypto billionaire Sam from FTX, that's where the statement was made. Okay, Mel Term DeMoore, the chief strategist officer at a $5 billion crypto asset manager, CoinShares, is worried if it's the latter. Okay, he says, what we're seeing around the world, which is really concerning to me, is using the attack on proof of work, in particular Bitcoin's energy usage, as a way to implement a de facto ban on Bitcoin without saying it. The Bitcoin network uses a high, we know that. And then he says, I'm going to say this quietly. Governments are going to try to ban Bitcoin. They're going to try to attack Bitcoin because it's really difficult to do otherwise. There's already been a number of initiatives. We see that. Last week we saw that the New York Assembly voted to pass a bill that would freeze the expansion of carbon-based crypto mining operations until the state can complete a comprehensive impact study. Bitcoin's proof of work consensus mechanism is an easy target, he says. A lot of information they are getting from other protocols, blah, 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 blah. Basically, everyone around the world is trying to ban proof of work. And this guy is saying, based on banning of proof of work, that means they're in Celebi trying to ban Bitcoin. That's what that says. That's what that whole article is. So I guess I do have enough time to talk about it. Because my focus right now, as I watch, right? As I watch these things, is to see what's happening. Look at Twitter. Twitter's holding. That's nice. Total market cap. Look at that. Hit 1 trillion and bounced. That's what we're looking at still. Sorry, I know I'm back and forth right now. But this is what we want to look at and see. So that's my thought process there. I really, really, really should have just done a TA focused and watched the charts play out today. I didn't think this would break down until 10:30. So maybe we're lucky at 10:30 the charts will actually roll around. So by the time this is uploaded, the charts will be in a different direction. But right now, guys, we are teetering on $1 trillion. About 7 trillion, about 6 trillion less. I'm sorry. 6 trillion less. We are chilling on $1 trillion on the same day that Elon Musk is securing 7.1 billion to buy Twitter. So hopefully everything continues to go up. This is good news. But again, we got to watch the markets. We got to watch the markets. Reload that to show you. We got to watch the markets. They will tell the story. What do you think, guys? Do you think the governments are trying to ban Bitcoin via proof of work? Do you think Bitcoin is actually usable? Now, I don't own any Bitcoin. I just tell you that right now. I have. I've sold it. I trade it, but I don't own it. I have no use for it. So, what about you? Do you have a use for it? Let me know in the comments below what your thought processes are. Hit that notification bell. Get it going. I'm going to say hey to AJ. He says, yo, I'm late. Don't be late, my friend, because we're done with this section now. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Share this if you want to help grow the channel. We don't have any sponsors on this channel, so it's just this little message for you. If you share this, we get help. We're on Spotify, Google Play, Amazon Music, Audible, all different types of podcast places. These are uploaded later. So the more you share, the more you comment, the more you like, the more it helps out the show. Appreciate you guys so much. This is your boy, Christian Israel, and this is the end of the news topic section. I almost said new creation section. Whew. It's only Thursday. The week's almost over. Let's fade to black, guys, and get on to the next one. Let's get it. Okay, we are back, and we are looking for entries, as the market is in a free fall this morning. It is in a free fall all the way back to test where it came in at. So we will see how this works as the market's free fall. We do not want them to continue to fall down, even though it's looking very, 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 very weak. I'm going to look at Curve real quick because Curve was something that I was shorting. And then I got out of it, which I'm not happy about. I shorted it up here. Could have got it. Oh, it looks like we bounced. This might be an entry point. We'll see. Got to be careful because this stuff is volatile. Like, I have not seen. I don't think I've ever seen the NASDAQ like that. I mean, you got February earlier where it went 14 to boom. I mean, you're just having, and that's over, it's just having some volatility. I guess you're going to have that after all this up. Anyway, Twitter's still holding. A little jump from the Elon news. Just curious to see how this holds. Because as I said yesterday, guys, this is when wealth is made. This is when wealth is made. All right, so let's move on to the new creation section. And guys, if this is where you get off, I appreciate you so much for stopping by. I'm your boy, Christian Israel. Do the social media thing. If you're going to hang around for the word of God, you know what it is. Come catch us. This is my favorite part of the podcast. Thanks for hanging out. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, then you are a new creation. What's going on, everybody? How are you doing today? I'm your boy, Christian Israel, and you are tuned into the new creation scripture section, which is the third section of the Christ and Crypto Morning podcast, where we do it in the Trinity, right? I just thought about that the other day. The threes and Trinities, and that's exactly where we break this show down. We have three sections of the show. The first one is the technical analysis perspective, that we look at the markets from a technical view, analytics, things like that. And then you have the second section, which is the news section, where we look at the market from a news cycle. Now, this is the new creation scripture section, which is the most important section for me. It's the whole reason my company exists. The whole reason this exists is that this is all based on a biblical view with Christ at the center of the show. And that's how we wrap up our show, with a little scripture discussion and kind of go from there. And as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death and move into another thing, I just kind of come to talk to you guys about my life. That's what we do in the scriptures, right? I talk to you, I'm not a preacher. I mean, I share the word with you. I don't have a church. I did write a book. I never talk about it, but it's called Learning to Love in the Wilderness. Some things I had to deal with that, how do you say, still haunts me today. That still haunts me today. And that's what the book is about, is, what some people mean for evil, God will use for good. And I'm literally a walking miracle. Like, I should not be on this stream right now talking to you in this house that I just sold, getting ready to move to another house with my wife and my daughter, enjoying, even though stressed, enjoying the fact of freedom. And so I come here to make sure I do this. And, I see AJ. I'm glad my words have helped you yesterday, AJ, because I'm here just to tell you where my heart is heavy, where the Lord has put on my heart. And to be honest with you, every single day I could probably break down and cry right here on this section, because this is when I get a chance for the Lord to use me. I don't know when the Lord is using me throughout the day, but when I'm here in front of a mic, this is a time when I can say, Lord, use me. And what is on me today is, I've got a lot of haters. Some for good cause, because I was a jerk growing up, or some who just want to see me fail, right? Some just want to see you fail. Some people will put you in a situation, do everything they can for you to fail, and hope you fail, because they just don't want you to be successful. Or they just don't like themselves, or jealousy, or whatever it may be. And so today I'm here to tell you, I'm not any type of maxi when it comes to crypto. Yeah, I think XRP is the one, but there's others. I'm only a maxi on one thing, and that is Jesus Christ. I have real issues, even when I'm fighting with him, to do things that involve praising other idols, or doing things like, talking just what earthly things talk about, right? Once the Lord has opened the veil off my eyes, that's why I struggle now. I struggle now because I know the truth. I struggle now because I know where the Lord is. What I mean by that is, when you are him, he is in you. So the Lord is in me. Therefore, he uses my eyes for me to see things, just like you. And one of those is, what can we do when we feel we're under attack? Right? And I don't know if you guys know the story of Joseph, right? And I know if there's a musical out there called Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, right? And that's what this is. And I'm not going to go too much into it, but basically the story of Joseph was, and I relate to this man, like I'm sure a lot of you are. He was somebody who was his father's, favorite. He had a bunch of brothers. They just didn't like it. So they sold him into slavery. Throughout the slavery, he became a part of Potiphar's house, which is in Egypt. And he served Potiphar, but more importantly, Joseph served the Lord. And he served this Lord so much that even Potiphar's wife considered, who Joseph is mentioned in the Bible as a very good-looking man. And we know the Egyptian lifestyle back then was a little different, like a lot of, kind of similar actually to America today. But Potiphar's wife wanted to sleep with Joseph and continued to try to sleep with Joseph. And here's what happened. Joseph said no, because you are a married man and he serves God. You're a married woman and he is a servant of God. Well, this woman accused Joseph by ripping a claw off Joseph because Joseph said no, and she did not like the fact that she was being turned down. She is Potiphar's wife, who is beautiful, I'm sure, and gets whatever she wants, including, one of the top commanders in Egypt. She's high, so she wants this servant Joseph, this Jewish boy. He says no. She accuses him of rape, and he goes to prison for 17 years for a rape he did not do, just because one person said he did it, even though he didn't do it. But people just said, you know what? You're not a part of our society. We don't like you. This person says it. You're who you are. You're just a poor servant. You must have done it. So then he goes into jail and prison. And what he's done here and why his brothers really hated him is because the Lord would give Joseph visions through their dreams. And he was able to interpret those dreams. He was able to interpret those dreams for a clear vision of what his future may be. Now, he wasn't sure, and all he did was serve. And while he was in prison, he helped the cupbearer and a chef. He interpreted their dreams. One was the cupbearer was going to be killed, I believe, and then the chef was going to be saved, or vice versa. I don't remember. Anyway, one of them was saved, one of them was killed, and then fast forward to, I was trying to think, the Pharaoh, right? Pharaoh has a dream. The cupbearer comes and says, when I was in prison, I forgot. I told this guy that I would remind him that he got me out and he saved me, but has a dream that, he can probably interpret your dream. So the Pharaoh calls Joseph to the court and says, I have a dream that no one of my people can interpret. And Joseph says, well, I can't interpret the dream. Only God can interpret dreams for you. So the Pharaoh says, well, if you can tell me what my dream is and interpret it, then I will believe in what you say and I will give you whatever you want in this world. So Joseph says, well, that's not hard because God has already shown me. Your dream is that you're going to have 7 years of famine here, 7 years of great wealth followed by 7 years of famine. And during that famine, you need to be saved. We need to stock and grill and do all these things so Egypt can be saved. Anyway, Joseph gets put in second command over everything. Now we fast forward to Joseph being in his late 30s. After being a teenager, put through all that by his family. Now the famine has kicked in and the famine is here. Well, the family comes to Joseph all the way to Egypt, not knowing that Joseph is in Egypt and second in command and over all of the land of Egypt now. Only person who has more power than Joseph now is the Pharaoh. Now Joseph, again, was just in prison for accused of raping, right? Potiphar's wife. 17 years later, the Lord said, it's okay, I got you. I know your heart, I got you. Keep obeying and keep following me. So his brothers eventually come. They have no choice. They have to come to Egypt. They come to Egypt. They sit before this guy that they don't know is Joseph. Now, Joseph speaks obviously Hebrew and now Egyptian, and they don't know. They don't recognize him. I mean, how many people are recognized as a 15-year-old boy and now a grown man, almost 40? You're not going to recognize him. You're going to think he's dead. Well, back and forth goes out where Joseph is basically trying to get to see his little brother and his father. They come to find out that Joseph's dad is dead now, but the little brother is alive. They come back. But on the way back, them thinking that Joseph, who is their brother, is a powerful, going to kill them all if they don't kind of do these demands, they freak out. So now they're back in front of Joseph, not with the father, trying to tell him that his father dead, who Joseph loved dearly. Remember, I told you that was the favorite son, was Joseph. So all he wanted to do was see his dad one more time. But his dad was dead, but he got to see his little brother instead. So let's pick up here in Genesis 50:15 where this goes. And it says, when Joseph's brother realized that their father was now dead, right? Joseph is now known, oh my God, my father is dead. When Joseph's brother said that, they said, what if Joseph bears a grudge against us? What if he pays us back seriously for all the terrible things we did to him? I just went through all of that, right? Because of his dream, because his brothers were jealous, Joseph was sold into slavery, accused of rape, put into prison, almost killed, and now he is second in command. But they think, what's going to happen? They know. They're freaking out. So they approached Joseph and said, your father gave orders before he died telling us, this is what you should say to Joseph. So his father's last words, please forgive your brother's sin and misdeeds, for they did terrible things to you. Now please forgive the sins of the servants of your father's God. Joseph broke down and cried when they spoke to him. His brothers also wept too. They fell down in front of him and said, we're here as your slaves. But Joseph said to them, and this is so important here, don't be afraid. Am I God? You planned something bad for me. You wanted me murdered, killed. These people accused me of rape, wanted me dead. I have fought all of the worst things that I could do. Everybody on me, pushing me down, fighting me, attacks from all over. I just serve the Lord. I'm not God though. You can't serve me. You're not my slaves. I'm a slave to the Lord. You planned something bad for me, but God produced something good from it. God produced something good for what you meant for evil, in order to save the lives of many people, just as he is doing today. Because now Joseph is in command. His dream came true when he was a child. He now is over all, and his family is bowing down at him as he sees the wheat bough saving the Egypt from famine, because the Lord has guided him. And he says, now don't be afraid. I will take care of you and your children. So he put them at ease and spoke reassuringly to him. And now what this passage shows is multiple things. The sinner fighting the sin of his past. The person sinned against showing grace, love, and mercy. Which one will you be? Will you be the sinner at his feet? Or will you be the person showing grace and mercy? Now, that's a trick question. Here's why it's a trick question. Because it's both. I am both the sinner at the Lord's feet, but I am also the man who needs to forgive those who have sinned against me. And that way, we can establish full freedom and acceptance of Jesus Christ. And that is what's on my heart today as I move forward, that every day I have to forgive those who meant evil for me. I have to forgive those who still in this day do everything in their power to want to bring my happiness down, my life down, or my wife's or my daughter's, whatever it may be, wherever the attacks come, whether we bring it on ourselves or whether the devil continues to attack us. So I say to you, be both. Be the sinner at God's feet, asking for forgiveness, and be the person full of grace, forgiving the person who has trespassed against you. And that's my word for the day. And I just look at the chat real quick. Thank you, Lee. Lee says, I've been reading your book to a friend of mine on her commute every morning. Says the Joseph story is amazing, by the way. Thank you, Lee. I appreciate that. And Lee is somebody who's read it, Learning to Love in the Wilderness. It's a 40-day journey of me writing a letter to God over 40 days, trying to make a decision about my life for something that has happened to me, giving my life over to God and walking in that. 40 days. Because 8 years ago, I wasn't a believer. In fact, I used to travel the world telling people God was not real. If you caught me when I'm my wife's age, this podcast would tell you how bad God is. That God isn't good, that the world is great. I probably would have said that abortions were great. I had a whole nother line of thinking until I got at the feet of our God and asked to heal me. It's not done yet. He's still working on it. But he's healing me. Guys, that's the end of this section. I appreciate you all. Do me a favor. Like, follow, and subscribe. Do the social media thing. This is the end of the new creation section, guys. Talk to you later. God bless. This is my favorite part of the podcast. Thanks for hanging out. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, then you are a new creation. All right, guys, it looks like we have a massive sell-off in the market right now. Like a massive, massive sell-off, and there it all goes. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to check this out because XRP itself just twindly dumped. Look at this. I mean, hard dump back to the 1.414, which actually might be a good entry. I'm going to see here, but look at that back test. And that is not the prettiest thing, but I have to be honest that right here for me, I got to take a chance. That's all the way back, all the way back here. As I said, if that broke through, it would come. So we are here at a good place for a back test for me, the 1.414. And we'll see. But Bitcoin is down 7% this morning. Everything's coming down. So I don't know what to tell you. I know this. Every little thing's gonna be all right. Don't you worry about a thing. 'Cause every little thing's gonna be all right. Because the Lord has got our back. And what they mean for evil, God will use for good. This is your boy Christian Israel, and you are tuned in to Christ and Crypto in the Morning, guys. We are here every single day, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., looking at the market in three perspectives: from a technical perspective, a news perspective, with Christ at the center of the show, keeping Jesus in the ultimate perspective. I love you guys so much. Thank you, Ilya. Thank you, Lee Lord. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Bullish on XRP, for stopping on by. Remember, if you guys want to join me in the New Creation Telegram group, we're there, looking for you. I love you guys so much. Until next time, guys, God loves you, I love you, and you are loved. God bless. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Please make sure you like, subscribe, share this video, subscribe to this channel, and do the thing that people do on social media. At Twitter, at TikTok, New Creation Capital. Let us know, guys. Thanks so much. I hope you guys have a great day. Later, guys.